Swedish melodic death metal, stoner vibes from Denver, Colorado, and Belgian post-metal. All of this and more on the Progcast Friday Top 5. Good morning, Prog fans. It is Friday, December 4th. I'm your host, Randy Salo, and you're listening to the Progcast Friday Top 5. This is the show where every week my co-host Dario and I go through all the new releases and pick out 5 that we think you should check out. So let's dive right into this. Let's start things off with something heavy. So hailing from Melbourne, Australia, the band Growth is releasing their debut album, The Smothering Arms of Mercy. Out today on Wild Thing Records, the band writes that Growth began as a study in isolation by brothers Tristan and Nelson Barnes. After a decade's absence from each other while pursuing music overseas, the lineup soon rounded out by adding Luc Frison on vocals, and the trio set out to create music that explored the human aspects of connection, trauma, despair, and the fragility of hope. This is brutal technical death metal, and it's rounded out by a great mix by Fredrik Nordstrom of Opeth and The Haunted fame. Let's head over to Belgium and pick up with sludgy post-rock trio Pothamus. They're releasing their debut album as well today. It's called Raya. It's out on Consuling Agency. And, the band describes themselves as sludge, tribal, and post-rock. There's definitely vocals. It's like there's some growls. There's some like distant singing. It's all kind of combined in this crazy sort of ambient, doomy, dirgy sound. The band writes on their Bandcamp page, "In this trio's enigmatic world, molded by repetitive riffage and floating drones, backed by trance-inducing percussion and abrasive bass lines, the search for the meaning stands central." Yeah, it's heavy stuff, straight out of Belgium. Check it out. Third up today, we have a brand new EP from Sweden's melodic death metal pioneers, Soilwork. The EP is called A Whisp of the Atlantic, and it's out today on Nuclear Blast Records. Once again, the band pushes forward with a totally unique sound, which is actually really far away from their early melodic death metal roots. But, I mean, they always had this sort of progressive edge to them, in my opinion. And, with this record, they really show off like a wide variety of sounds and textures. And you can even hear a little bit of the influence of some of the band members' other band, the Night Flight Orchestra, in there. Some sort of 70s and 80s rock influences are coming in there. The record is only 5 songs, but it clocks in at 37 minutes. I mean, the opening track, which is the title track, A Whisp of the Atlantic, clocks in at 16 minutes and 31 seconds. So right away, you know you're in for a ride. Pro tip, Dario interviewed mastermind David Anderson yesterday on the regular Progcast to talk about the epic new EP and when to expect new full-length albums from both Soilwork and their other band, the Night Flight Orchestra, so check that out. Next up, we're heading over to the USA, all the way to Denver, Colorado, to check out the new long player from Green Druid, At the Maw of Ruin. It's out today on Earache Records. The band describes himself as brooding, atmospheric isolationists with weighty riffs summoning the Lovecraftian horrors of the cosmos. Green Druid's music entrances listeners with tales of the old blood and of dismal worlds too soon forgotten. This is super heavy stoner rock with really cool vocals and super long songs. I mean, with only 6 songs, but the album clocks in at 1 hour and 7 minutes. I mean, you really get your money's worth, so definitely check out this one. Let's finish the week out on a lighter note. The chamber prog band Iamthemorning, originally from St. Petersburg, Russia, are releasing a 4-track EP today called Counting the Ghosts. And according to their Facebook site, it's self-released and aimed at raising funds for the new album that they're going to be recording next year. It includes a couple of traditional Christmas choir pieces and 2 original tracks. I think this is going to be a great pre-Christmas record, and it's just in time for Nikolaus, so get your orders in over at Bandcamp. Final pro tip, on Monday, Dario interviewed Tom DeWitt from TDW about their latest release, The Days the Clocks Stopped. So check that out. Those are our top 5 picks of the week. You'll find all of them down in the show notes below. Let us know in the comments what you thought about each of these records and if we missed anything that you were really burning about. For regular episodes of the Progcast, tune in Mondays and Thursdays. This show is on Fridays. For regular written interviews and reviews, check out theprogspace.com. As always, if you like the show, please rate and review us on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. This helps more people find out about the show, and it helps us out. This has been the Progcast Friday Top 5. I've been your host, Randy Salo. You guys have been awesome. See you next week for probably the last episode of the Friday Top 5 for the year 2020. See you then, Prog fans.